Recently, I've been trying to get in better shape by hitting the gym and making better food decisions and all those things that make a person generally healthier, but the most important thing is staying hydrated. Hydration is one of, if not the most important things to living a healthier and better life, and Liquid IV is your best ticket to achieving that goal. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks, which is pretty significant. I really enjoy Liquid IV because it's easy to take. It's easy to take with you, which makes it super convenient, whether it's after the gym or if I need to pick me up in the morning after a night out or just a boost of hydration while I'm at work. Staying hydrated is so much easier for me because of Liquid IV, and I think it can do the exact same thing for you. Also, if you're worried about the flavors, don't be. They've got strawberry lemonade and lemon lime, which are some of my favorites, and they are very good, but they got plenty of other flavors, so you'll find something you like for sure. So if you want to start getting and staying more hydrated, you should try some Liquid IV. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code BADMOVIE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code BADMOVIE at liquidiv.com.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you some breaking news. There's been reports all over the area of something crazy going on, something big. People's homes, their minds even, are being taken over by something called, what is it they're calling it? They're calling it Bad Movie Debate.
True Detective.
What a bummer. It's over.
Thank God.
How long is this? I forgot how long it is. I don't have any more. I'm gonna cut it off. All right, it's done. All right. Well, what's up, nerds? We're back for True Detective season 4, part 2. True Detective Night Country season 4, part whatever. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
Kyle's here again. Obvi.
What's up?
Sup. I'm gonna kind of little inside baseball right off the bat, and Kyle joined into the chat and everything, and we were just kind of talking and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, hold on one second, just to give you an illusion of how we feel about how it all ended." Kyle was like, "Hold on one second, I gotta go get something to drink." and he comes back with a big old glass of wine.
That glass.
And I was like, "Oh, yep, I got me some beers right here," because I'm gonna go ahead and say I think we're both decently upset.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty upset.
Do you want to get the ball rolling with your kind of thoughts?
Where's to start? I think the best way to describe it is like, I can't think of another show that has wrapped up more poorly since like Game of Thrones. Something
oh
like
my
that.
God. Yeah, honestly,
it's kind of similar to where they really had me in the first half, not gonna lie. But man,
1000%.
so we did first 3 the first episode, and then the second 3. So I would say like episode 4 and 5, I was still kind of into it, but I was starting to have to take some copium. Like, this is gonna work out. They're gonna do this right.
Yeah,
I'm starting to get worried, but they're still gonna do it.
I was definitely in a bit of denial. I was like, "There's no fucking way they're gonna Game of Thrones this. There's no way they're gonna be doing everything pretty much exactly right, and then fuck it all up at the very end, right? It's impossible." Right?
Yeah.
No. It's not.
And it's just there was so many, like Game of Thrones, pointless things that it's like, man, we had 6 episodes to get stuff done, and you wasted a lot of time on certain things that you just did not even resolve whatsoever.
The water.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole entire incorporation of season 1 to me honestly made me a little bit angry, because I'm
furious.
Like, how dare you, almost like.
Yeah, exactly, dude. How dare you invoke season 1 and just like leave us all fucking hanging so
It was
goddamn
just for
hard.
clout. There
It
was
was just
no
for clout.
there was no purpose, there was no connection into the cult
Nope.
or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
No further answers on what the hell the swirl is, other than
Yeah.
it's old as the ice. And
Yeah, like
like
okay, and it's like some kind of fossilized thing. It's some kind of creature. It looked like
yeah.
that one 5, if even, second shot of it. Once we finally get into the night country, which okay, I'm with the majority of people on this when they find the German dude, like the German explorer that's been missing for like 30 years or whatever,
Right.
and he's like, they're in the night country now. I was like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
oh my god,
Well,
it
and
was
I
like
think he was the same one too, I think, to where he said possibly the corniest line of the episode, and also a
Mhm.
slap in the face of "time's a flat circle," and it's
Dude,
like, dude, I
I
rolled
was
my eyes.
yes, exactly, dude. The fact that they invoked time as a flat circle, that of all the season 1 things to just take and completely bring in and then fuck up and just like not even matter.
It's
Like
just like clout chasing or like clout
it
stealing.
is. It's
Like,
just like so I saw somebody say, and I agree with this, and like I hate that I agree with this because I didn't want it to be this, but it really feels like um the creator of True Detective Night Country, um it seems like Isa Lopez had a really good show like planned. Like she had like some kind of like the basic like the what's the word basic outline of the show and like the like plot of like there's 2 detectives, they're in Alaska, weird research thing happens, they're haunted by a past case that never got solved, yada yada yada, and then this is how it ends, blah 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 blah, and like that's what it is. And HBO was like, great, but also, what if we made it season 4 of True Detective? So you sprinkled in some True Detective
yeah,
stuff, and we force that in there, and still do everything you want to do.
I could so see that.
So we can have a 4th season of True Detective. And
Yeah.
like, and because I also saw Nick Palazzo,
Hmm.
Palazzadato, whatever the fuck his name is, however you say his name, the original creator of True Detective, like he was like reposting people like shitting on season 4, and but he's listed as an executive producer, but like he's come out and said like, yeah, I didn't have anything to do with any of that, like, but he's
Yeah.
listed as one of the executive producers, so it's like,
Probably because they
so
stole his shit from season
exactly,
one.
they show like exactly, so it's like, but he didn't get to like be like, no, this doesn't make sense, or like, I mean, obviously like season 2 and season 3 of True Detective, like he was still there and like working with it, and like the showrunner on all of that and stuff, and it like, you know, those didn't pan out as well as season 1 either, but like apparently like he's been like reposting stuff being like, yeah, nah, like I don't vibe with
Yeah.
this and stuff. So like, why are you even listed as a fucking
Yeah.
like how does that even happen? Like, so someone was like, so executive producer credits don't mean shit.
Don't
Like,
mean
is that what that
anything.
is? Like, they literally don't
Yeah.
mean anything, because Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are executive producers on all the seasons too, and it's like, so did they have anything to do with it? Did they, or were they just like,
Surely
yep,
not.
or were they just like, yep, sounds good, like whatever, just write me my check? Like, is that what it is? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, if they were like, yeah, just write me my check, I'll executive produce it to get clout, to get people to watch it, and they just, you know, took their checks, and they're just not saying anything about it, more power
Yeah.
to them. More
No,
power to
get
them.
that bag for sure.
Get that bag, dude. I'm cool with that. But like,
Yeah.
I just saw that the other day, like people talking about like that, whoever it was, is something is on Reddit probably. Someone being like, it seems like she had an idea for a show that could have been cool, but then HBO was like, no, we're gonna make it True Detective season 4. We're gonna wrap it in however you want to do it, and they worked with, you know, a writing room, and like, this is how we make it connect. But then it
Yeah.
was all for naught, and it was all fucking pointless. And I hate
Well, and
everything.
that's
And I'm
super
upset.
disappointing because if that was
Yeah.
the case, then not only did we miss out on an actually good True Detective season, but
Hmm.
whatever the show was originally probably would have been really good.
Honestly, if you had taken out all the True Detective stuff in this show, it would be really good. Like the whole like revenge story for Annie, and that's what happened. And they
Yeah,
like, because like at the end of it, spoilers. Um, they like the whole point is it's like all of these women going and like fighting back against these men who killed Annie and stuff because she was trying to
right.
stop them from fucking up the water. I guess that's how the water like came into it. It's like they were fucking up the water because they had an agenda and were technically owned by the mining company and yada yada yada. So like conspiracy, like racketeering kind of shit and stuff. And then they go and they all in like a mob like kill those guys and stage it to be like go out there and get naked, and then all this weird shit happens, and like because that weird shit happens when you die in weird circumstances like that, like in icy like freezing conditions and stuff. Like weird shit like that does happen, and like you freeze but you're not dead and like all this weird shit, and like that's cool. I'm cool with that. I like that story. But the True Detective stuff that's mushled and meddled and squeezed in there don't make any kind of fucking sense in
No.
relation to how we get there. And
And
like
honestly, there wasn't even that much detectiving or whatever.
I
Like,
saw I saw so many fucking like tweets and like just everything online about like these have got to be the two worst fucking detectives I've ever seen
yeah.
in
I
my
mean,
life. Like
theoretically, they didn't even figure it out. They just talked to someone who told them what happened. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, like,
like, okay, like cool. And then like
and I thought it was cool the way they did that, but I also couldn't help cringing at the end because the whole murder didn't seem very True Detective-y. It
okay,
seemed very
I
like,
yes.
yeah, like I don't know, like rah rah and like not
Yeah.
serious to a
Yeah,
certain degree.
and honestly like the murder of Annie, I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
Like okay, so she snuck in there through the night country
Hmm.
and figured out yeah, she figured out the connection or whatever, and like that Salal was making the water bad. So she was able to sneak in and she was breaking all their shit and ruining all their years of research. And then they mob murder her for it
Yeah.
and stuff.
Which,
Like
looking at the people
I
like
don't
in episode 1 when they're hanging around and making
yeah.
sandwiches, they don't seem like the type to just gang
I
murder
know,
someone.
especially the dude making a sandwich. He seemed chill
Yeah.
as fuck. Like he was cool. He was like making videos to like talk to his fam and stuff. Like he was cool, Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like he just like it just also is like so you mean to tell me that these like 6 to 7 scientists, men of like science and logic are going to let their emotions get the better of them and they're going to
Right.
murder this woman in cold blood for fucking up years of their research instead of like like getting her, pinning her down, calling the police, charging her with this crime, and then just like going back to work. You ain't got backups,
Yeah.
bruh. You have all
Well,
the
and
funding in the world. You have the Tuttle family apparently
right.
funding your shit, and you don't have backups of your research. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? How? Like, what? What? Like, that's the stuff. Like, halfway through season or episode 6, the last episode, because I remember you started it right before I did, and you texted me and you were like, "All right, we going right into this shit. Like, it's
Yeah.
getting hot. Like, you're like, let's go." And I was like, "All right, bet." And then like halfway through, it just stopped making sense in
Hmm.
every single way in terms of like, why would they kill her? Why would like this happen? Why would that? It's just all these different things. I'm like, I don't understand how that logically is
Yeah.
satisfying or makes sense narratively in any world. You
Well,
know what
and
I mean?
even the scientists getting so upset that their years of work are destroyed that they gang murder someone. It's like I can buy behind that, sure. But
Mm.
then you like what, a couple days later, you guys are hanging out watching Ferris Bueller and making sandwiches. Like, wouldn't you be immediately working like
Well, no,
diligently,
this
nonstop?
is this is years later
Oh, it is
because
years later.
yeah, because
Oh,
Annie
yeah,
Kay gets murdered years ago because this is a case that's haunted them. It was when uh Danvers had just gotten sent there because of her bullshit from her last job and her last boss and all that stuff. The guy she's fucking but she hates. which is also like, okay, like great.
Yeah.
And then Navarro, she's still working at that same department. Because then it's because the present day stuff is she's working with the like troopers. Like she reassigns after the Annie case like stalls, and she keeps getting told to fuck off and like stuff. And like, so Danvers is like, okay, fuck you. Like you're getting transferred to the Stadies. Like we're done. Like with this, like we got to drop it. Like it's not going anywhere. Whatever. So this is a little while later. It is at least a few years later. I can't remember exactly how many, but yeah, they just go right back to work. At the end of the day, they just go back to work, and like it just doesn't. I don't know. And then one last thing I did see that I definitely wanted to bring up. So I saw a tweet. It was something like Isa Lopez did an interview, and apparently, in the interview, she gets asked like, "What's up with Annie's tongue?"
Yeah, we never get that.
Apparently, she said it either the mob brought it as like a fuck you and left it to like lead people to realize that's why Annie like, or Annie's ghost was there as a part of the mob, and Annie left it as a fuck you, find me. But she said like it's one of those two, you decide. And I'm like, no, give me an answer.
And either of those I don't like, because
no, I don't like either of those answers either. like
the women basically admit like, yeah, we fucking mobbed up on these people and killed them, and then I specifically remember her asking, what about the tongue? And they're like, we don't know. So I feel like they would have been like at least cryptic and been like, oh, well, it deserved to be there. So I don't know. Instead of just being like, no, we don't know.
Or at the very least, like, well, it makes sense if you think about it, and like just kind of let that hang.
Yeah.
Like that would have been like, okay, yeah, sure, it does make sense. Like and leave it like that. But like apparently, Isa Lopez, she said that's what her answer was. It's one of those two, you decide and stuff.
And that right there is the main issue with the season. There's entirely too much. Oh, you just figure it out yourself. It's like it needs to have a little bit more. This is what went down.
We need concrete answers. And like again, I'm not blaming her for any of that stuff. Like I truly believe that she had a really, really good story like written out and ready to go, and then I feel like HBO came in and like producers came in like, and they were like, we're gonna make this True Detective, so you gotta have all this weird cryptic shit, and then she's like, okay, and then like she's getting forced to like incorporate that with a bunch of writers and stuff and make it happen. And so like again, like I'm not mad at her about the answer. I'm mad that that's the answer, but like I don't blame her for it. I feel like it's like that's the best answer she can give, because she's like, I don't fucking know either, because that was never the original intent. You know what I mean? Like at least like that's how I take it. That's how I took that answer from her that I saw. Like it was like, well, if you want to ask specifically about like, the murder and like specifically about like the detectives, like why is Navarro so like about like the native part, like all of that, and like the like attacking of women and like all of like the social commentary stuff, I'm sure she has amazing answers about all of that stuff. Like, and because like that was obviously that's what the intent is. Like that's obviously what the intent of what her original story was supposed to be, but then shoehorning in all this fucking True Detective stuff with the spiral and Time's a Flat Circle and like all of that stuff, just like, and then Cole's dad like is there for a second as a ghost, and then he's gone, and like for no reason, like he just knows Rose, the like crazy old lady who like lives the native way on her own and stuff, like smokes a bunch of pot, like,
which some people were theorizing that Rose was never like alive, because a lot of people online were thinking Navarro was seeing dead people like all the time.
I mean, she definitely was not completely right in the head, to put it indelicately. Like she definitely had some issues mentally going on, but I don't know, like But then why does? But no, that can't be true because Danvers specifically says go talk to Rose,
Right.
or is that supposed to be a subtle? Danvers is like go
Yeah,
talk to
maybe
Rose.
Danvers
Wink,
knows
wink,
she
wink, wink,
talks
wink.
to dead
But
people.
Danvers
Yeah.
the entire time is like, oh, is this your like voodoo bullshit? Like Danvers the whole time is very anti that shit. But does she like have a change of heart that's like super, subtle and not and
Right.
comes out of nowhere, like kind of a thing? Like, and she's just like, yeah, go talk to that ghost you're always talking to. But I'm not gonna say that outright. Like, what? I don't know. I don't like that answer either. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And then one last thing I did see, I'm remembering this now. Something about so the episode when we find, you remember the episode when we find the German dude, and he talks about, he basically says like, "You're a true detective in the night country, true detective night country." Like he basically says that, like, so like that weird moment where like Navarro kind of gets lost, and then she's like watching something happen, and like there's like a weird kind of supernatural-y moment
Where she's
kinda,
out on the ice.
yeah, kind of and
Yeah.
stuff. But
But
like,
also in like a field somewhere or something.
no, well, not that because that's her memories of when she was in the war because she has like war
Right.
flashbacks and stuff, which I get. Like I get that, but it's like it's something. They're in that building where they find him, that abandoned shack or mine or whatever, and like that weird sequence happens where like she's seeing something happen, but then she's there and stuff. Apparently, the answer to that is that that's Navarro's like ghost somehow, or she's like somehow like in two places at one time or 2 points in time at the same, some like weird like time anomaly thing. Like I don't remember the details of it because I read it once and went, "That's fucking stupid," and it's completely like the point is all the answers I'm getting and I'm reading about online from like people and apparently from people who worked on the show is that doesn't make any sense. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
What are we even fucking talking about right now, dude?
No,
like,
there was endless. I could list off 20 things about that. Like it was the necklace in her hair. Do you remember that? At one point,
whose
when
hair?
Danvers, it's while they're chasing dude.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls out a random gold necklace from her hair and just kind of like looks at it and then like tosses it to the side and then they move on and then they never talk about it again.
See, that's
it made no sense. There was no purpose.
I barely remember that. Yeah, I barely remember that because they never talk about it again. Like
the only reason why I remember it was because when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's gonna come up later.
Like this is it. This is it. I don't know. It's like, somebody had a great way to put it about how this is like. There's so many Chekhov's guns that just never get fired. Yeah. Which completely defeats the whole purpose of the Chekhov's gun thing. Like there's so many things that's like, we're gonna get back to this, and then we just never do. And it's just like that is the definition of making something completely unsatisfying and like gonna make your audience upset. Like I don't know, but I know a lot of people did like it. Like to be honest, I was catching up on some last podcast, and Eddie and Henry were talking about it on the most recent side stories, and Eddie's like, I liked it, and Henry's like, why? Like they fucked it up at the end, and I'm like, thank you, Henry. And he's like, well, they fucked it up because they like it was supposed to be all supernatural, and then it just wasn't. And Eddie's like, he's like, well, that's what I liked about it. It's kind of Hitchcock. It's like it feels like it's supernatural, and then it's just not. And Henry's like, "No, fuck that! Like, give me some ghosts." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with you." Like,
well, and I saw a ton of people all about it, and I'm just like, "Did we watch the same thing?"
Is this one of those marketing things where it's like only certain regions got like the good ending and others got the bad, and like this is just a debate for everybody to talk about online to like make people go rewatch it, and they'll finally like a year from now they'll release the actual cut, like.
Well, and it got like I think a 91 critic score on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that.
See, that doesn't surprise me. Again, the social commentary part, I'm there for. I get that.
For sure.
I love all that stuff. I was never mad about that. It's just in the context of being in the universe of True Detective and the Chekhov's guns being blanks. Like that just really just is so unsatisfying narratively. Again, if they have just been like, oh, you have a one-off season, 6 episodes, that's all this crazy social commentary about like Native women and stuff like that, like getting murdered and like police not being able to do anything and being stunted because like it's all about money. Let's fucking go. Like, yes, I'll watch that all fucking day. Probably be like one of my favorite fucking things to come out right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, because like obviously it's shot really well and like the acting is as good as it can be. I mean, Jodie Foster, come on. I mean, I ain't gonna say anything about Jodie Foster as an actress.
No.
Like, come on, dude. Like, she is always killing it. She never misses. But like her character, not so much. Even like Navarro, I can't remember the actor's name, but like she was amazing. Like the entire, like,
she was so good.
They were all the acting was super compelling. Pete
was killer.
He's so. I want to see him in more stuff immediately.
And even his dad was really good at making you hate him.
And then kind of maybe be sad for him a little bit, but then also be like, no, I fucking hate this dude. This is a piece of shit. But also, Pete, I'm sorry you had to do that. Spoiler alert, Pete has to shoot his dad in the fucking face. And it's,
right.
Like,
and then also clean it up. That was the height of the season, and pretty much everything from there was kind of downhill, I'd say.
Exactly, because it was because that was the end of episode 5. Because Danvers goes to be like, because he's tracking Danvers because the mining people who we already did fucked up shit for to cover up the Annie K stuff, they're like, we're calling you in again to like do this, like you gotta do this again or else. And he's like, I mean, I really don't want to, but I guess I have to. So he goes and he does it. And and then just Pete happens to be there, and they're just like, he's just like, I gotta fucking kill my dad. I gotta shoot him in the fucking face, like right now. Like, and that was so good, and his acting was so good, and the whole fucking point, like Pete's story is the best story, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Like, well, and you don't see him again until the ending cringe montage of like everything worked out for everyone.
Yep.
And
everybody's fine.
That final little scene where she's like at a balcony and it cuts and Navarro's are also there too, and there's like a really cringe singing song in the background. I hated that. I thoroughly hated that.
So what exactly happened with Navarro? Like, so she just disappeared apparently?
Yeah, I think they kind of let it to be like, my guess was maybe after it all happened, the fact that she shot what's her name came out. So she passed it off as like, oh, she's gone. She probably walked out on the ice or whatever. So they could think she's dead or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming they moved to another location because I think I saw someone say that while she's being interviewed in the season 1 style interview, she Danvers has a Hawaii mug. So people were saying maybe that's like Hawaii, or maybe that's like a deeper down version of Alaska or something that's not as cold. But
maybe
it was just like, so.
I don't know. But then the season 1 style interview about like what actually happened and she's lying to their face and stuff, I was like, fuck off. Fuck
At
off.
that point, when I was watching, I was like, man, I just really don't care.
No, dude, same, dude. So I like, to be completely honest, I started watching it and it was good. And then as soon as it stopped getting good, I kept like nodding off, like falling asleep because it was kind of late. And I was like, God damn it. So I kept having to like rewind and like go back. So it took me like an hour and a half to watch it because I'd like doze for like a second and be like, oh shit, like we're in a different scene. I need to go back. And then like, I like was like, okay, I got 20 minutes left. Just like stay focused.
Focus up.
And I was just like, I should have just stayed asleep. I should have just fucking
could have dreamed a better ending.
Right? Like, Lord.
There were 2 main other things that I feel like were really not answered / just done poorly, and one of those was the oranges. Like,
see, again, what the fuck are you talking about?
So
Jesse,
throughout the
Jesse,
whole,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Throughout the season, not Navarro, fucking what's her name? No, Navarro.
Navarro.
She occasionally sees an orange like roll to her feet.
Oh, dude, yeah, oranges kept.
And they did that multiple times, including in the final season. And finally, in the final episode, sorry, finally in the final episode, she like reaches down and picks it up and whatever. But it's still just like, okay, so like, what does it mean? Someone online said her mom liked oranges, but I'm like, okay.
How the fuck am I supposed to know that?
Yeah. But that and the whole Twist and Shout song never really got brought up.
Wait, no. So first of all, the only thing I can think about the oranges is in the Godfather series. It's like a film thing. It's kind of like like the Wilhelm scream that's in like every movie and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like an industry thing to like plant that in there when you can. So the Godfather, every time somebody is eating oranges or like oranges are around, somebody's about to die. And I'm like, okay, so is it like one of those kind of things? Because like there's not really a lot of context to that. But I will say the Twist and Shout thing, I think that does get an answer. I think that's when
I thought it had to do with her son or daughter dying.
I think it was playing in the car when the car crash happened that kills her kid.
Okay. I just feel like they never really hit on it or something.
Was.
Yeah.
Also, I one question about the speaking of daughter, like so her adoptive daughter or like the daughter, like the girl she takes care of and stuff, like did we get any answers about
no idea
why she's the one taking care of her and stuff?
No clue.
Again, like I said in the last episode, I understand her like trying to make her like not necessarily reject her native side, but like she's like trying to get her to downplay it because like Native women are attacked more and stuff, like bad things happen to Native women. So if she's like got the tattoo on her chin and everything, like she's like that's gonna make her more of a target in life and stuff, like so I get that part, but like I don't understand how did she end up being the one to take care of her, because it's not her kid.
No. And who's her parents? Like
where are her parents and stuff? Yeah, I don't really. If there was an answer, it wasn't very clear, or it was a very quick, like, okay, here's a quick answer kind of bullshit.
Yeah. It just, it's like even those things that are little just never got answered, which made it the big ones even more compoundedly like, oh, we're just not getting anything from this. Exactly. I hated how the whole death of all the scientists was the girls not necessarily killing them, but pretty much killing them, stripping them naked, sending them out into the ice.
Yeah.
Cool. I get that. But why are they all together in a frozen clump, and why are they looking back like horrified at something?
Yeah. Why did one of them claw their eyes out?
Yeah. Why did any of the excess stuff that happened to them happen to them when all it was they ran out to the ice? Like, I would imagine they would have been separated unless they were like, oh, let's huddle together for warmth. And like, what are they looking at that they're so scared of? Like,
why are they in such a state of horror? And like devil's advocate, the only answer I have, or the only explanation, is like the Dilatov Pass thing. Like over in Russia back in the day, like the 60s or some shit, where like those people were like, those like experienced outdoors people were found like nude in the snow, and like it's a big mystery about like how they all died. One of them was missing their tongue and like all this weird shit and stuff, and like the answers range from aliens to the Yeti to it's something called like Kármán vortexes, where like in certain cold conditions in mountainous areas, like little tiny tornadoes that don't even get registered sometimes can happen, and like that can fuck you up and make you all bruised in a weird way and stuff. Or like for that one, it was like a mini avalanche, but like, and like, okay, cool, like I get that maybe we're referencing that, but like this is a flat cold place. You can't get a tiny avalanche, you can't get these Kármán vortex tornadoes, like none of that makes sense. So they must have seen something supernatural that freaked them out.
They built up to that, but then it never really was that. And also, what's the deal with the polar bear with the missing eye? Why was that a thing? She saw it. She also had a toy of it. They never got answered on that. It was just, why?
The polar bear, like, because I remember you texted me, because I was looking back for your email to send you the link to this, and I remember you texted me all caps, the polar bear is real. Like, oh, the polar bear, because we were both like obsessed with this polar bear thing. But like, it was her kid's toy and it lost its eye. Danvers' kid's toy, and it lost its eye, and she's held it in a box. But then, for some reason, Navarro sees it.
Also sees it, which may or may not be. I guess it was real.
Which
Who
may
knows?
or may not be real. Who fucking knows? Exactly, dude. None of it makes any sense. And I'm also just like, what the fuck? I can't get over the spiral fossil.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that, and like that's like on top, like right above their base, like where their like secret lab work is and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so they obviously seem to know what it is in some fashion, or like are studying it and stuff, and just like no answers on that.
Well, and when Danvers like peels the orange into a spiral, and it's like, God, can y'all just stop stealing this?
Yeah, can you
beautiful
stop?
symbol from a great season of television?
Exactly. And like, because you know what the best part is like, best worst, I guess, I don't know, however you want to define it, is like it just seems like, so okay, in season 1, what does the symbol mean in season 1?
The Yellow King, or represents sort of.
It has to do with the Yellow King. In season 1, in my opinion, it's one of two things. I think I'm leaning more towards it's the representation of time as a flat circle.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or it's just some freaky shit that the King in Yellow designed, and it doesn't need any context in the first season. So I like to think if it's gonna need context, it's the representation of time as a flat circle, because it's circular and it's a flat drawing. You never see it in a 3D space. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's never made in a 3D space. The problem with it in this season, the symbol is they try to tell us that there is a really big important meaning, and it has something to do with some ancient fucking shit that's as old as the ice, which, like I was saying, is like a very Lovecraftian thing and got me real fucking turned on. And it just didn't mean anything at the end of the day, except for the fact that there's a fossil that is in the same shape in this ice, and those guys at Salal were studying it, apparently. Or like looking into what it is and stuff. And like, I don't know, like I don't think there's gonna be, like, you can't do True Detective Night Country season 2. Like, right?
No.
Like, you can't. Like,
the public would go crazy. You
can't even have a True Detective in Alaska ever again.
Right. Which we had talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
In episode like 4 or 5, we were kind of like, are they going to do another one? Is this leading up to something else? Maybe they'll tie it in with a different setting, but
yeah, because
I feel like with how poorly it was wrapped up, you can't, like.
But it's got great reviews, and like a lot of audiences liked it, and like it's got the Rotten Tomatoes scores, like the critics really liked it, and like I don't know, as the casual viewer, I'm just like, if they're like, oh yeah, True Detective, like, I don't know, like Day City, it's a continuation. So we're going to pick up like now we're in New York, and scientists at we're in DC, and people at the Smithsonian are studying the fossil that they took out from the Salal thing, because the government came in and like took over their research, and now it's the government that's in on it at a bigger scale. I'm gonna walk onto the ice if that's what happens. I'm gonna strip completely naked, and I'm gonna walk into the water of Alaska. Like, I'm not here for that anymore. Like, I literally just want, like, I did honestly, like, I won't say this because I don't actually believe it, but like there was a lot of people being like, damn, season 2 looks real good now, huh?
Yes.
And I'm like,
100%.
Man, I don't know. Season 2 was pretty rough, but at least it made more sense at the end of the
and
day.
It was more entertaining, at least throughout. And
it was like a True Detective story. Like, I completely agree with what you said earlier about like the Like both of the murders didn't feel True Detective-y, like in any
No.
way. Like,
Well, and it's
at
like
all.
season one. Okay, they find this symbol. They're like, let's research this. Let's try and find this elsewhere. Let's do all this stuff. This one, they find it and they're just like, hey, you know what this is? Yeah, it's old as ice. Okay, that's all I need to know. And
Like,
that's
oh
pretty
damn,
much all they went into it. Like,
wow, that's crazy. Anyway, like,
yeah. Anyways, I'm
literally
gonna
reminds
kill
me.
another
It
person.
reminds me of the John Mulaney bit about what is it about the old timey detective work, and it's like
Yes.
yeah, oh hey detective, there's a bunch of the killer's blood in the next room. Gross. Anyway, get a mop and wipe it up. Back to my hunch. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, here's all the answers. Like, here's something interesting that we could actually follow up on and like figure out like what this means and like go from there. Nope. Fuck
Nope.
that. I'm just gonna go back to doing anything besides the interesting thing. Like, I don't know. I just, again, I don't know. Like, I just saw that person the other day say like it felt like she had a good idea and they made her make it True Detective, and I'm just like, that completely explains what happened, because like
Yeah.
everything I was in first 4 episodes, I was all in, so excited, like came home after the fucking Super Bowl and watched
Right.
like, and was like okay, like Super Bowl, like yeah, that was great, like it ended up being a pretty good game, went to overtime, you don't see that a lot, anyway, like I gotta go home and watch True Detective. Like, I was like
Yeah.
so excited to like keep watching and stuff, and then just like see episode 5, you know, like there were some weird moments in there, but like the way it ends with Pete and his dad, and just like it's like, and then like it's like, okay, you know, this last episode they have to wrap up so much, and like they left on such an intense moment, we're gonna get right back into it, and they do get right back into it, but then it just, every fucking minute of that last episode just falls off harder
Mm-hmm.
than the one before, and like just the way, like, I don't know, and then like they figure out that the girl who had her fingers cut off, like, you know what I mean? Because like the little
Touched
secret
the
entrance, like
little,
she was trying to open that to get that one guy who went into the cave, like, and
and they got the
stuff, and
print
like
of the only 3 fingers or whatever. It's just like,
it's just so convenient. It's just like
yeah,
it felt too convenient and too forced, and even then, like, honestly, like I would have preferred, this is all too convenient, but I'm getting answers to everything, or even most
100%. Yeah.
things, but like we only got answers to like 20 to 40% of stuff, I feel like, and like
Right.
I don't know, I'm a little biased when it comes to like the supernatural in media and stuff. Like, my opinion is, if you're going to invoke the supernatural, it's got to mean something, it's got to play into the ending, you have to get some kind of answer for it. Instead, like, even if the answer is Scooby-Doo and it was Old Man Withers pretending to be a
The
ghost,
whole time. Yeah.
that's fine. Even if the answer is, even if they just talk about it, like, and be like, we don't have answers for that part's still bothering me, I'll take it, because the
Yeah.
supernatural will probably never be fully understood. But instead, you build it up the entire time, and then once the falling action happens, we just don't ever talk about it again.
Yeah. And
That,
meanwhile, also have multiple cringe scenes in between. It was just like, I can't picture a worst case scenario for like a finale, personally.
honestly, yeah, like like I just remember I texted you when I finished it and was like, so I got a lot of thoughts about it, and you were like, yeah, me too, and I was like, are you feeling a little disappointed as well? And you were like, yup. Sure am, dude. Like, yeah. And this is like kind of irrelevant, but like also like just to invoke how disappointed I am. Remember when I texted you? I think it was after episode 5. It was okay. It was after episode 5 because episode 5 is when it was the same day as the Super Bowl. It was such a good episode because I remember Austin was sick. She had the flu. Come to find out, she had the flu, but she was like super sick, and she like had to go into work. So when you're a teacher, apparently, even if you're sick, you have to go in early and like lay out your plans for the sub.
Get it all set up.
Like, I'm not gonna be here. Like, deal with it. So that's kind of annoying. But regardless, she was like, can you drive me because I feel like shit, and then like just like do a couple things so we can get out of there soon, and then we can go to the clinic. And then that's when we found out she had the flu, like after we did that. But I was putting away these kids fucking in their little mailboxes, and I swear to God, dude, I still got the picture. I'm not at video yet, but if I was, I'd show the picture, I'll take his name out, whatever. But this kid, like all the kids had, like they drew on the back of their quiz and stuff, like random bullshit, like whatever. But this literally the last one I went to put up, I like look at the kid's name, go to flip it over to put it face down in the mailbox, like Austin asked me to do for all the rest of the kids. And on the back is the fucking spiral from fucking True Detective. And I'm not talking like, oh, it's like a more perfect circle. I'm talking, it's got, you know how it's got like them ridges in it? It's got those like sharp, like 45-degree turns. It was exactly that.
It was spot on.
I like sent it to Kyle. It's like 6 a.m. So it was like 5 a.m. for you. I like sent it to you. And like hours later, you text me and you were like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, "Dude, I don't know." Like, I asked Austin, and I was like, "Is this kid normal?" And she was like, "Yeah, he's a totally normal kid. Like, there's nothing."
He's fine.
And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's good. Like, he might just like good content. Like, that's fine." Yeah. Like,
maybe he's just a True Detective connoisseur.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, more power to him. Second grade. That's a good time to get into it. But like, I was just like, are you fucking kidding? Like, that's how excited I was. Like, that happened, and I was like, I had chills, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. It's bleeding into the real world. Like, I'm so excited for this last episode. And a week later, I'm fucking thinking, I'm like, should I cancel my Max membership?
Yeah,
like,
is this it? Like, is this the straw?
Is this it?
Is this the last straw?
Like their movie stuff has been like they usually have their pretty good catalog of movies, but like,
it's been lacking recently.
This new season of True Detective literally makes me want to, again, go onto the ice. And like, there's just not enough. Well, I've seen all the true crime on there, so maybe I don't need it anymore. But yeah, I don't know. It's just wow, right? Like,
incredible. I think I can distinctively remember the moment I gave up fully was when they're like pretty much torturing the dude, the scientist who escaped, and she like leaves, and there's a second where it's like, oh, Navarro's about to cap this dude just like she capped the other dude, and then she doesn't, and she comes out and they have a conversation. She's like, I would have done, I left because I was about to do it or something like that, saying they were both about to kill him.
Yeah, and then Ann Danvers is like, if you hadn't have shot that dude all those years ago, I was gonna shoot that dude too. Like, because like it's like a reconciliation or like we're on the same page when it comes to what we're fighting for. That's a decent moment.
Well, and Danvers is like, yeah, I totally would have just shot him too right then. And then cut 5 minutes later, she comes back and he's out in the ice dead. And she's like, why did you kill him? He was our only hope for answers. What are you talking about? What are you even talking about?
What?
like, what? Oh my God, dude. It gave me physical emotion. I guess you could say that. It
honestly
gave me cringe, but
I mean, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I guess they want you to, viscerally react to stuff, but it's literally, honestly, to talk about an even better show than this fucking show, I think you should leave. It's literally that. What?
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Yes. We're gonna be so early to the movie. I'm not going to the movie. What? Like, what? That whole scene was that. If you could if there was a way I could like do reaction images to certain scenes in this podcast when I make it like video and stuff, that would be the reaction image to that fucking moment.
100%.
Just straight up, what? Like,
what? You let him walk out on the ice? What are you talking about?
what are you talking about? Like, I thought, like, what? Like, oh God. I will say though, the way they torture that dude is hella fucked up.
Yeah, so fucked up. I was watching it like, God, man, this is not good.
I kind of respected that part a little bit because I was like, damn, they really fucked it. Because they're like, hey, she's like, Navarro, like, she's like, do you really love Annie? And he's like, yeah, like 100%. I totally loved Annie. I hate everything that happened about this. Because like when we actually see the murder of it and stuff, he's the one, he doesn't, like, he does the final, like, she's dead, I need to put her out of her misery kind of thing. Like, but he like is very much against them killing her, like, fuck the research and stuff. And she's like, oh, okay, bet. And they fucking she puts the fucking video of her death on a fucking loop and tapes it to his fucking head and just leaves him there. And they go and like talk for like 30 minutes, like, just like, what are we gonna do? And he's just listening to that over and over again. Like, that, see, that's some true detective shit.
Right.
Like, that's like,
I think I told you, Savannah she stopped watching it. She was sitting in on that scene, and she was like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, this is horrible. This is so, like, brutal.
Yeah, that was, I got mad. I got mad respect for that scene. That scene was a lot. I was like half in, half out of that last episode, but that moment I was like, okay, shit, hold up, maybe we're going back, maybe we just had a couple bad scenes, that's fine, I can forgive a couple bad scenes, like, yeah, but then obviously the
and then immediately go into
immediately into fucking Tim Robinson reactions to everything. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I just had such high hopes.
Yeah. Well, and we were both talking beforehand how it's like we could not even bring ourselves to rewatch that final episode. It's just straight like, up, man.
Straight up, you were like, hey, did you rewatch it? Because we took like a week break, like, because like recording didn't work out and stuff. And I was like, no, I couldn't. Yeah. You're like, me either. Like, I literally started. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, you could say, hey, rewatch season 1 of True Detective right now. I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, I'd finish it tonight. What time is it? It's like 6:30. Yeah. I'd finish it tonight, easy.
100%.
Like, no doubt. But yeah, like, I tried to watch the first episode again, and I think I got like 10 or 15 minutes into it and was like, I can't do this. I know where it's going to go, and I'm so mad still. I was like, I can't do it, dude. I couldn't do it. I was
just like, gonna notice more stuff they didn't answer. It's gonna make me mad.
I'm just gonna get more fucking pissed. Like, I'm gonna remember like why I was so pissed. Like, I don't know. Like, I just it's man. It's hard making good content, huh? Isn't it? Yeah. It's hard making good TV shows. I mean, hey, I make content, and you know, I'm trying to get better at it. It is hard. It is hard. But I have a budget of $0 because I'm just straight up paying out of pocket for everything I do. Compared to millions and millions and millions of dollars. And honestly, like, so last episode I did Ghosted with Neil. Dude, that movie fucking sucks. And Neil, like, even before we started recording, he was like, you're gonna win this debate because there's a moment where things shift to being too fucking stupid, and I'm not gonna be able to argue against it, so you're gonna win, but let's see how this goes anyway. And like, we had a great conversation. It was a lot of fun. Check that episode out.
Yeah, I do too.
It's good. But the movie is worth watching because it is fun, even though it like fucks itself. It shoots itself in the foot in the last in like the last act. Like, it's like, okay, well, this is fucking dumb, but like, it seems to be decently self-aware about it. I'd rather rewatch that than watch a single fucking moment from this season of True Detective because I was so disappointed. Granted, I didn't have a lot of high hopes going into the Ghosted movie, but like, and I had amazingly high hopes going into this because I was like, I'm not gonna watch. But then I had a buddy at work who had watched the first 2 episodes and was like, hey, are you watching the new True Detective? I know you like, you know, like, you're into like movies and TV and stuff, like you work on the movies at work, like, so obviously, like, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like I know it's got Jodie Foster in it, and like she's obviously amazing, but like I don't know. Like I've heard it's decent and stuff, and he was like, "No, dude, like it's really good. Like it's." He's like, you should watch it, like definitely. And then that's when I like the next day or like the next couple days is when I texted you being like, "Hey, do we want to do this for our next TV episodes and stuff?" And like, I was so excited. I got lied to. I got lied to. I need to ask that guy at work. I need to remember to do that tomorrow and be like, "Hey, man,
what does he think?
What'd you think of True Detective?" Like, because you told me it was worth.
Well,
watching.
It's weird because on like every platform I go on, the views of it are totally different. TikTok, people who talk about it on TikTok absolutely love it. They think it's like the second best True Detective season ever. You go on the True Detective Reddit, brother, it is a war zone in there.
I will. That's just honestly though, that is just Reddit. Reddit hates everything because the only people who are taking the time to post and comment are usually the people who are the most negative when it comes to Reddit. Like I've seen so much hate about we were talking a little bit before we started recording Avatar, the Last Airbender, like the new live action and stuff. Like so much hate about that on there. But then like you go to like Twitter or Instagram and stuff, and people are like, "Oh yeah, it's not as good as the OG show and stuff, but like it's fun, like it's good, like it felt good to watch, you know, like and I enjoyed watching it." And on Reddit, they're just like, "Aang's shirt is not supposed to be that shade of orange. It's actually 2 shades darker." Like, they're fucking lunatics on Reddit. I will say,
absolutely.
But I am in the Reddit camp of like I am highly disappointed in this. Also, though, I don't know. Like, obviously, season 1's the best. This is the most fun I've had watching True Detective since season 1. Season 2, I feel like I got 2 episodes in and was like, God, I really hope it gets better. And then season 3, I was like, I mean, I'll watch anything with Mahershala Ali in it. You know what I mean?
So
like,
that's how I feel about season 2, because I love Colin Farrell.
Dude, me too. I love him so much. He's so good.
And
Rachel McAdams is amazing too.
Same with 3 with Vince Vaughn. Like Vince Vaughn was killer in that.
Oh, no, Vince Vaughn's in 2.
2, okay. So yeah, that whole cast was enough to be like,
casting
all right,
was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. With this, I feel like it's like you had 2 main characters. They were both great.
Yes.
Their supporting roles were really good too, but you just didn't really give a shit about them, except for Pete, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And so it's like, I don't know. So what do you think? Season 1's the best. What do you put as the second best season?
I would probably do 1, 3, 2, very close. And then obviously this one. I would probably put season 5 before this one. it's not even planned yet. But
wait, season 5, True Detective, Day City. Day City. No, Day City. It's gonna be the opposite. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of funny memes. Wild. Someone did a meme that was like True Detective season 5, Night Country for Old Men. And it's like the No Country for Old Men logo.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's fucking go, dude. Hey,
saying it'll be a Western.
Wait, so Javier Bardem's gonna be in it? Because if so, like, all right, I'll watch it. Like, again, I'll watch him. Total fucking sidebar, but did you have you seen apparently I don't know who put it on, like who like got the data, but they like whatever the entity, like the news entity or like magazine, like Rolling Stone, or like it's probably something like Rolling Stone or like something, but they like got like a bunch of psychologists to like look at like psychopaths in movies and stuff, and they were like,
no.
And apparently the top psychopath in all of movies in terms of like how psychopaths actually are in the real world and stuff is Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men.
Really?
They're like that is the number 1 depiction of a psychopath.
I could see it
in all movies. I mean, granted, like how many movies did they make them watch? Like who, like was it like like full blown psychologists who look at that, or was it just anybody who was a psychologist? Like or like. has a psychology degree. You know, like I don't remember what the like parameters of like the experiment was, I guess, for lack of a better word, but like apparently that was the consensus was Javier Bardem and
That's
as
awesome.
Shigar is like the best depiction of a psychopath. And I'm like, oh, cool, because he's the most fucked up, like one of the most fucked up, scary characters I've ever seen. Like, so
Great to know.
that's good. That's good that like that's the most like if I'm gonna run into any fucking villain in real life, that's the one I'm gonna run into above any of the other ones. Honestly though, just a springboard off the Night Country for Old Men thing, like a Western style fucking True Detective could be sick as fuck, honestly.
100%.
Could be sick as
or
fuck.
Or like even like a desert, like Egypt or some shit like that.
Yeah, dude.
But now I'm thinking I'm thinking way too supernatural. I feel like with this past season.
That's
like,
fair.
Let's get into the pyramids.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm just curious when it's all going to come out that this is all aliens the entire time. You know what I mean? Like when's that going to happen?
True Detective season 5. Who built the pyramids?
Oh my god, dude! I would be there in a heartbeat. You got okay. So, like I was saying earlier, you get some detectives in DC who have connections to the Smithsonian, Museum of History and stuff, and they lead them to go to Egypt, and now they're in Egypt, and then they die immediately in like a civil war or something. Like,
starring
that's the end of it.
Starring Nick Cage and what's his name from The Mummy?
Brendan Fraser. Oh my
yes.
god. Oh my god. No, even better, dude. It'd be you know what they would do, and everybody would watch it in a fucking heartbeat if they had that dumb idea and they actually went for it. Nick Cage as the old detective, Timothy Chalamet as the young new detective.
Oh yes.
It will be the highest rated, most watched season ever. Like, no doubt in my mind. They're like, Timothy Chalamet, he's hot right now, and he already knows how to act in a desert setting. That new Dune movie's coming out. We gotta hit this while it's hot. Like, you know what I mean?
Get him while he's out there in whatever desert they're filming.
Yeah, whatever desert they're filming in. Like, let's just like he'll just like like. It'll be like divorced parents, like Monday through Wednesday, Dune gets him, and then Thursday through Saturday, True Detective gets him, rotate Sundays.
Right.
He's easy. Easy. Honestly, at this point, I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
100%.
I would fucking watch it. Oh, God, just to tie in Avatar and Night Country, there is no season 4 in Ba Sing Se. As far as I'm concerned at this point, that's honestly kind of like, I don't know, man. I guess the way I would rate them is obviously season 1. I think I would go 3, 4, and then 2.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's
Still
how I would
4
go.
over 2.
Yeah, just because like besides the disappointment, the like first 5 episodes were like hitting all the right cylinders.
I can see
it was
that.
such a disappointment. But season 2, I remember watching season 2 when it came out forever ago. It was me and Nick, and then I think you were there a couple times at Luke Lafife's house because we were all still living in Nashville during the summers of college, and like we would go to Luke's house and watch the new episode like every Sunday night when it aired, because he was the only one that had HBO at the time because his family had it, and I just remember like after like the second episode, us all being like, "Is anybody else like not feeling this right now?" Like,
right.
Is anybody else?
I might need to rewatch it.
Disappointed. I might need to too,
because all I can think about when I think of season 2 is Colin Farrell like doing blow, drinking beers, and like doing push-ups, and then like Vince Vaughn being like a mob boss.
Well, and then Rachel McAdams doing this like hardcore knife training in her fucking house or like her apartment, like by herself, like doing all this crazy fucked up shit. And it was like, damn, girl, I didn't know you could like act like this. Like, this is great. Like, because she was great in it too. So fuck. All right. We're gonna rewatch
that
all
might be on my list.
I'll rewatch all of them. Season 1 3 times, then season 2 and season 3 once, and then season 4 not for another year.
A long time.
Yeah. I'll watch. I literally, God, season 1. I might
It's
just
the
watch
best.
that again. I need to watch Avatar.
Yeah.
I need to finish up Avatar, but I might after that just be like, fuck it. Like, give me Cole. Give me Cole.
When
I
I've been
need
thinking
him.
about rewatching Game of Thrones, except for like the last season recently,
Okay, so
or maybe some of the last season,
I'm
because
going through. Austin and I are finally watching House of the Dragon right now.
nice.
We're
I
I
didn't
think
mind it.
6 episodes in. It's light years better than the last season of Game of Thrones. Like,
Yeah.
I had a buddy at work when it first came out. He's probably the biggest fantasy nerd I know. Like, I'm not talking just like movies and shows. I'm talking like motherfucker be playing D&D. Motherfucker be playing
Right.
Warhammer like all day. Motherfucker be buying magic cards and shit. Like, this motherfucker is a fantasy god. And I was like, so what do you think of it? Like, when it first came out, he was like, it's like 2 episodes in, I guess, and he was like, the best way I can describe it is season 8 Game of Thrones budget, season 1 writing.
Right.
And I was like, oh shit, so you really like it? And he was like, it's fucking dope. And then it ended. No, he's like, I'd cut off my foot for season 2 to come out right now, dude. He's like, it's so fucking good. And Austin and I are really, really enjoying it. I think it's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
I think it's dope.
No, I really liked it. I really liked all the characters in it, if I recall correctly.
They all feel really fleshed out and like make sense. But also, that's what happens when you're doing everything off of one book that's like this big. Like, it's all one book that's already done. So like, we already have all the like things we can pull from, and you don't have to fucking. But I tried to rewatch Game of Thrones. When we started with House of the Dragon, we got like 2 or 3 episodes in, and Austin was asking me a bunch of questions about like, because I was like reacting to some like they were doing some like name dropping or like some references and stuff, and I was like, oh shit, like, okay, cool. And she was like, I don't remember that. It's been so long since I've seen Game of Thrones. And I was like, I remember some. I was like, I think I'm gonna need to rewatch Game of Thrones to like remember everything. And I got like 3 episodes in to the first season, and I was like, man, this shit is so good. I don't need to rewatch it. I was like, I remember what I need to remember, like, because the first episode starts so hard with all the like Night King shit and the White Walkers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, starts so hard with that, and I was immediately so fucking pissed. I was like, God damn it. I was like, God damn it. Like, I remember that like 7 seasons from now, when we're in season 8, that's just gonna end immediately in pitch black and not gonna be able to see anything, and it's just gonna suck. Like,
well, and that's kind of why I want to just I wonder if someone's done this already, of where you can kind of do like the Naruto watching, where they have the list of the episodes you can skip. Do that, except for a version of Game of Thrones to where you don't get pissed off at the end.
Right. Or like because I remember I've never seen it. I don't think you can find it anymore. I'm sure it's it's somewhere since it was on the internet. But Topher Grace, Eric Foreman from That 70s Show, like, his love of Star Wars in that show is from like, they incorporated that into his character because he is a huge Star Wars nerd IRL, and he apparently, it's super fucking weird. This long drink to water, but like, apparently he used to have like this like nerdy website that he ran and stuff, and apparently he put on that website a cut of the prequel movies that was 1 2-hour movie that cut out all the stuff that people were bitching about at the time when they came out about it being irrelevant and stuff, and like was like, here's the prequels in 1 2-hour setting, and like, it was like he didn't like shoot anything, he just edited it. Like, he took the existing scenes and like chopped and like spliced them together in a coherent narrative that was all 3 of the movies in a way that like apparently was like, yo, holy fucking shit. I mean, I like the prequels. I've always liked the prequels.
Same here, yeah.
But like, it just like, I was like, damn, I really want to see that cut. But I feel like somebody definitely did that with Game of Thrones, where it's like, Honestly, you know what it is. You know what it is. It's seasons 1 through 6. Just watch those as is,
and turn it off,
and then turn it off and be like, you decide.
Yeah,
Just like with Annie's
True
fucking tongue
detective.
in this fucking season. Ugh. I'll never get over it. I don't think.
Emotional damage.
I know. I wish we're at about an hour here, and I feel like I have more to say, but I don't know what else to say besides like I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I have trust issues now. Again, from True Detective. I don't know why I keep coming back. True Detective is like a fucking abusive relationship. I keep coming back. It's my fault for not understanding. I'll be fine. And it's like they love bombed me with the first 5 episodes, and then they started beating me again in the last episode.
Yeah.
So now I'm hurt. But as soon as they're like, hey, season 5, here's who's in it. Here's what the plot is. I'm going to be like, so you've changed? Was this the last time? And I know I'm going to watch it again. I know I'm going to watch it.
Take me back.
Take me back. Like, it was me. I didn't understand. It was my fault. Like, that's how I feel about True Detective at this point. Like, I don't know.
It's rough, man. At least we have Avatar to cleanse our palate.
Yeah, Avatar's been fun. I know people have been shitting on that, but again, people shit on everything, so it is what it is. But
yeah, that's the way she goes.
Is there anything else coming out that looks good TV wise? When is Severance coming out? Season 2?
Dude, I don't know. They need to. I did just see.
Let's see.
2 shows. 2 shows are releasing around the same time, and I think it's The Bear and something else. What was it? I have to find it because there was 2 really good shows coming out around the same time that everyone was talking about. But yeah, I desperately need Severance, that's for sure.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's like it's the Esquire, because Esquire always does this like season 2 of Severance, what we know so far, and I'm like, okay, what will happen? I don't care what will happen. When will it come out?
Yeah,
that's all I want to know from this very long article. Okay. No specified air date. This article's from January of this year, so no specific date, but they are working on it. But it seems like, since how long this fucking article is, this was just in January, is like they're not rushing it, which is good.
Right. Oh, it was.
Shit.
It was what?
Also, January 29th, they have a tweet embedded in this. January 29th, 2024, there's a Apple TV posted a picture of, oh my God, Adam Scott running in a suit, like with a camera and stuff. And it's just that. And then Ben Stiller retweeted it, quote tweeted it, saying "back to work" #Severance. So they are working on it as we speak. Okay. So like they're taking their time with it, but they're working on Severance as we speak right now. Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. But yeah, I've never seen any of The Bear. Austin started watching it, but then kind of fell off on it. But she really enjoyed what she had seen so far. I just have a hard time watching shows that have to do with restaurants because my dad owns a restaurant.
Yeah, and so it's being a chef for so long, it's definitely triggering at times.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised that you're like, oh, I can't wait for the next season and stuff. I'm like, you were in the thick of it when it comes to being a chef like that.
Truly incredible show. Right, but so they're either releasing or they're starting to film the same day. I think it's released. The next season's supposed to release the same day as The Boys new season releases.
Oh yeah. Still have not watched a single moment.
Oh man, you gotta check that out too.
I know, dude. Literally everybody yells at me. Like Nick is yelling at me about it. Nick doesn't care about shows like most of the time, and he was like, he is even like, Jacob, just come on, like watch it.
Very political driven.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people get angry about that, but
yeah, well, that's the thing I know the most about The Boys is that it's really good. It's based off comics, but also that it's one of those things that they're like, people were heavily invested in it, and then it got too political. And then the showrunner came out and was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's about politics. Like that's the whole point of it. It's another one of those like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean when did Star Trek get political? It's always been political. Like, that's the whole. What do you mean when did Game of Thrones get political? It's always been political. Like that's the whole fucking point. Like, so I know that about it. Which obviously, if it makes those people mad that it's quote unquote political, then I'm sure I'll fucking love it.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of my thing. I saw the people mad about it, and I was like, oh yeah,
like, oh, so this is gas. Yeah, so this is amazing. And like, and everything they're saying I agree with probably. Like, but yeah, I think the reason I never got on that one, and I just haven't gotten onto it yet, is it came out while like all the Marvel stuff was still really big, and I was getting tired of superhero stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can see
like,
that.
And so like, and I still like haven't had that itch to be like, I need something comic superhero related, even though this is like a kind of like an anti-comic, for lack of a better way to put it. Like I've heard like it's like, because I know the plot is like they're superhero, they have superpowers, but they like work, like they're like get paid to do it and stuff. So like it brings like capitalism into it, which is a cool perspective.
Like Disney Channel original, like those actresses and all the bullshit they had to do, except for it's like superheroes.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
it's also so gory. Oh
I've
my
heard,
god,
I've heard that it's super fucking gory, which like I got no problem with. But then like the boys are like the guys who are like against the like capitalist superhero thing, and like
against
that's
like Disney
thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're against that, like the corporatization of superheroes and stuff, and like they know that they're all actually pieces of shit and everything. Like and stuff. So like, and like that's really cool, and I love that concept, but I'll get to it at some point. Again, I only really care about Severance coming out as soon as possible. I love it. I might rewatch that one.
Yeah, that would be a good rewatch.
Yeah. And then, did you watch Silo on Apple TV?
Yes, where
Rebecca
they're
Ferguson?
in a silo and they're like, if you leave, you'll die because the air's polluted. I don't think I finished it. I don't think, but
I really enjoyed it. Liked it, and like I liked the way it ended. Like it was one of the ones that I was like, it was definitely one of the ones where I was like, oh, I know where this is going. Like, okay, like I know what's gonna happen, and then it got there, and I was like, nope. Nope. I was fucking wrong. Like I was way fucking off, and this is so much better. Like it was one of those. It was the exact opposite of True Detective, Night Country, where I was like, I know exactly where this is going, and I was wrong, and it was better than what I thought. I really. God, yeah, you gotta watch that one. That one's really good.
I remember watching a bunch of it, but I don't think I finished it. Like I think I saw to where she goes out of the silo, but
that's the end of it. She doesn't get out. She doesn't get out of it until the very end.
Or maybe I'm just thinking of the other person that got sent out or something. I don't know. It's been so long, I feel like. And that was when I was binging like 2 shows a day or something like that.
Ann Perkins goes out very early. So maybe it was Ann Perkins.
Right.
Who goes out. Rashida Jones. For anybody who hasn't seen Parks and Rec. But if you haven't seen Parks and Rec, watch Parks and Rec. Ann Perkins goes out. She's great in that. Spoiler alert. She's not in it a lot. She's only in it for a little bit, but she's really good. That one.
I was watching so many Apple TV shows around that time. There's that podcast show.
What's that?
It's a really good actress. She was from that NASA movie about the women in NASA.
Oh, Hidden Figures.
She was from there. She's kind of like short. I can't think of her name, but she has a show where she does. Yes, Octavia Spencer. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. She has a show
really good.
That is what is it called? It's basically she has a podcast that's like a true crime podcast, and she ends up getting like super involved. Truth be told, she gets like super involved in this case to where she's like the cops aren't paying attention to it, so she's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna solve it" and shit like
Oh,
that.
cool.
It's a really good show, honestly. And
I
the
need to watch
format that they
that,
do,
yeah.
it's really cool. Like the beginning of each episode is her talking in the podcast, or maybe it's the end of
Right.
each episode, something like that.
That's
But
cool. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty similar to Only Murders in the Building.
Yes, exactly.
So how do you feel? We're way off of True Detective, but fuck it. Like we're talking about TV, so it's fine. How do you feel about that? I loved the first season. Austin and I got 2 or 3 episodes into the second season, and I went, I don't care anymore.
Me and Savannah were the exact same. I couldn't tell you where we stopped, but we stopped somewhere in season 2 where we were just like, don't care.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I thought season 1 shouldn't have ended with that cliffhanger. It should have just been done.
Yeah.
I don't 100%. Think because like I don't know. Season 1's super good, but like I stopped caring. Austin every once in a while will be like, we should pick that back up, and I'm like, nah. And then like
yeah.
And then like one time I remember she was like, oh, we should pick that back up. Like all the episodes are out now, and I was like, yeah, maybe. But then I saw like season 3 like is like, oh, like we're already working on season 3, and I was like, no. Like no. Yeah. What do you mean there's a season 3? Like how do you make this? How do you keep making this a thing? Like how do you
it's Martin Lawrence and who's that guy?
It's Martin Short.
Martin Short, not Martin
Lawrence. And Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Okay, yeah.
Selena Gomez, yeah.
They just kind of seem, and I don't want to be insensitive or anything like that, but it's like I feel like it's kind of to where they're past their prime, to where it's kind of shticky.
Exactly. So
that shtick got old. Like
their stickiness, and like because like the comedy that brought them to like where they are today in terms of like how big they are and how popular they are, and like Steve Martin movies are amazing, Martin Short movies are amazing, but like I only needed 1 season of it. Like they're still just doing the same shtick, and it's like there's a reason why they don't make movies like that anymore.
Yep.
Like it's played. Like we made so many of those movies in the past. I think we're past all of it, a little bit. There's a time and a place for sticky, but like not in a show that's multiple seasons that they're just forcing out.
Yeah.
I think Hulu is forcing it out because it's probably the biggest show that they ever, that's like a Hulu original,
right?
Like that one, like, cause like first season I was all for it. Like I wanted to get the sweatshirt they make to advertise their podcast. Like I wanted to get one of those, and was like, oh hell yeah. And then season 2, I was like, thank God I didn't buy that sweatshirt. Like thank God, because I would be like, people would be like, oh, do you love season 5? Like 3 years from now, and I would have been like, no,
there's a season 5.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? Like they're still doing this?
Yeah. Well, and now to think that you could buy a hoodie or a T-shirt with the spiral on it, and someone could come up to you, oh, you like season 4 of True Detective?
Oh God, the horror
in my face.
Eyes. Like, no, I got this. This is from season 1. This is from season 1. When'd you buy the sweatshirt? Last week. Like, last week to represent season 1. Like only. Like I like look at. They're like, but Jodie Foster's on the back, and I look at the back. I'm like, oh fuck. Fuck! I didn't even know there was a back. God damn it.
Someone prints off Matthew McConaughey's face right now.
Exactly.
Stick it on there.
It's just, it's absurd. I feel like there was another Apple TV show that I wanted to ask
there was that
about.
Global warming one I watched.
Oh yeah.
That one was pretty good.
Was that the one with each episode was different?
Yeah, each episode was like a different time, like 10 or 20 years apart, something like that. So it kind of showed the development of like how worse the post-apocalyptic global warming environment got, which was cool to see. But
it's cool, but at the same time, it's like I could just look outside and see that,
Also, like I don't need to think about how bad it's going to be.
I don't want to worry about it. I really don't want to worry about it, to be honest.
I know, folks. I'd rather not think about it.
It's fun watching those movies, like, in the 80s, like it's fun watching that, like when they're first trying to.
When it was actually sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly. When it was actually fiction. Yeah, exactly. No, not just regular old science. Yeah, Yeah, so I'm probably good on that one.
Yeah.
But man, I swear there was something I just watched. Oh, did you ever watch
Blackbird?
no, I don't know that one. The After Party, the comedy show.
I don't think so.
Dude,
Wait,
it's
was that
so fun.
was that oh no, I haven't seen that.
So yeah, go
Mystery.
shouts out to Parks and Rec. It's got John Ralphio in it.
Oh,
Ben
okay, I'm
Schwartz.
in.
Dude,
Wait,
it
maybe I
is
did watch that then because I remember him being in
it's
something
so
recently.
it's so fucking good. So it's
No, I
like
haven't seen it.
so the first so basically it's like so it's called the After Party because this is not a spoiler because it's literally like the second or third scene that happens.
Right.
Dave Franco is a super big pop star
Oh, Dave Franco.
and he dies.
What?
He gets murdered. Literally, like the second or third scene is him falling off of his estate in LA, is him being pushed off and falling to his death off the cliff where his bougie house is because he's a big pop star. And the entire
Right.
show it's the after party of their high school reunion. And everybody there is a suspect, kind of a thing. So it's it's very Agatha Christie in that regard. But the twist on it is the detective that comes in, she's interviewing everybody, and as they retell their story, the retelling of their story in the flashback is shot and edited in a different type of a genre. So each episode has a different
What?
genre flair to it. So like the first one, like one of them, like I would say he's the main character. He was there to try to rekindle a love that never happened in high school. She recently got divorced like a little while ago. It's time. He's like, I think I could make a move and stuff. So his retelling of the night is a rom-com. The next person is like an action movie, and then there's like a horror movie, like and there's a musical like episode like where it's like this is how the night went, and it's like
That's
hyper
really cool.
retellings in a specific genre, and but then like the mystery part of it, like in the present, which is shot like a normal mystery show set in today, is really really good and compelling too. So it's just like it's a really really fun show. The second season, that one just came out like a month or two ago, maybe 3 months ago.
So they do have multiple?
So yeah, so you end the first season with an answer, and then the second
Okay.
episode is two of the main characters. It's her sister is getting married, and it's the night after the wedding, and someone gets killed, and then and he calls in the same detective, and so then they do retellings from everybody's perspective with different like newer genres, like or different genres than what they already did and stuff. And that one was good but not as good, so you could honestly just watch the first season and call it a day.
Yeah, that's a super cool concept.
I definitely recommend the second season. I think it's really good too, but the first season is superior. It's so fucking good. Dave Franco is fucking hilarious. Ben Schwartz is fucking amazing, and then there's some you know who the main character is? The character's is it's Sam Richardson, Tim Robinson's friend.
No way.
Yeah, like
From wasn't he on SNL for a long time or
no? He's
Veep. That's what and Detroiters.
Yeah, Detroiters. Yeah, that dude, Sam Richardson. He's like the main character, and he's so fucking good. It's very much not I think you should leave, but like he's just so good, and it's like cool seeing him like kick ass and like be awesome. Like he's a really good actor, like actually.
Right.
So, you should definitely watch that one. It's a very fun watch. Like just like sit back, put it on, and like it's one of those things. It's like it's very funny and fun and an easy watch, but you got to pay attention because like the mystery part like is like they hook you with like, okay, we're out of the retelling of that genre, and the detective's like, well, you just said this, that, and the other, and that's kind of making me think about this or like that, and like so now we got to figure out that, and then the episode ends, and it's like, okay, fuck, like I gotta keep watching, like what the fuck happened, like so that one's a lot of fun too. I highly recommend that.
That's awesome. Yeah, they they just always make really good shows.
Honestly, their shows are really good. Their movies are not. Ghosted as shit. Once
Yeah,
again,
I'm gonna have to watch that one. I
watch
think
it.
before
It's
I
fun.
listen to the
It's
pod.
it's two very beautiful people
Yeah,
and the lead roles, but God, it's just not good. And it's like, just you gotta watch it. There's a lot of cameos that are very fun, but
right.
it's not good. It's not good. Well, I mean, do you have, so it's been so we've been not talking about True Detective for a little bit. Do you have any final
Right.
just as a for the episode with Neil about Ghosted? We did the same thing where we were both like, yeah, this sucks. And then we just like talked about the MCU for a really long time. And
Right.
like
Well, that's how
anything that
you
wasn't.
truly know something's bad is when
Exactly.
you want to talk so much about something else.
Exactly. I was like, so what's some good shows? And we just talked about a bunch of
Right.
different good shows. Like, do you have any final thoughts? We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Like what, any final thoughts about
No,
this
I mean
disappointment?
just bad, just disappointing. Not like any other True Detective seasons, and not in a good way. I think during the first half, I thought, oh, it's not going to be like it, but it's going to be good,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And I mean, I guess that is our personal opinions, but it's hard for
Of
me to
course.
see it in a light that I would enjoy it really. So
Yeah, I don't. Again, we both had a really hard time. We had extra time to talk about, like, rewatch it before we talked about it, but neither of us took the time to do that.
yeah,
You know, because we were both like,
could not
"Fuck
be
no."
asked.
Like, I could not pay me to do it. Like, I just couldn't. I'm still hurt. Like I said earlier,
Yeah,
like I'm still recovering from the abuse. Yeah, I don't know. I really just think it, that one comment I saw, like, if they had just let Isa Lopez do whatever she originally had in mind and not made it True Detective, it probably would be really fucking good. Like, it'd
yeah,
probably be awesome, and we just like, because we just so many Chekhov's guns that we just don't get. We just don't get anything. Just fire and blanks, like I said earlier.
yeah,
Like, and that's just not what you want in a narrative of any, no matter what it is, movie, play, fucking book, whatever. Like, you just can't do that. You just can't do
yeah.
that. And it's just like,
No,
yeah. So highly disappointed. Watch it though, so you can also be upset, I guess. If you want to
it
be
is worth
upset,
seeing to see how
it's worth
upsetting it
seeing.
is. I would say.
Watch the After Party and Severance. Pretty much any show on Apple TV is pretty good. Avatar is a lot of fun so far. Watch
Yeah.
that. You know, watch this show and then watch all those other ones if you haven't seen them,
Hmm.
because you'll feel better. Or just watch season 1 of True Detective again and just be like, wow, I can't believe they never made any more seasons of this show.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
this is a great limited series.
that's awesome. That's so cool how they just came in, told a great story, and then didn't try to make a bunch of money off of it by forcing more out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, you could just always do that. Yeah, well, I don't really have anything else to say besides that. Buy Liquid
Yeah.
IV. Yay, that'd be fun.
Thanks.
That'd be
I
dope.
saw they got pear and I don't, have they always had the pear? I just saw it the other day. I was like,
I think
oh,
the
that looks
pear's new
really good.
because I've been seeing a lot of ads on social media that aren't mine, like that aren't my ad, that are like pear. So I think they just
Yeah.
got pear. I think that's pretty
Well,
new.
I'm definitely copping me some of that. That's for
Hell
sure.
yeah, do it. And you can also do that if you use my code.
Hell yeah.
Code bad movie. There's an ad at the beginning. I don't need to do it again. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, if you buy something, that'd be dope. If you don't, whatever. We're just trying to have a good time and talk about. Well, I try to talk about good stuff, but sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
I guess the show is called Bad movie debate, so there's an
Yeah,
implication that there's going to be some bad in there. But
this is a bad TV agreement.
Yeah, bad TV agreement. Yeah, that's I hope to God our next one, because hey, our first one was beef, and we both were obsessed with that. Like that was good. I don't know. Maybe the next one we do will be something good. We'll see.
And who knows? Maybe it'll be Severance.
Oh God, if it fucking comes out this year, please watch Severance. Honestly, if you do anything, watch Severance. You're gonna love it. It's so fucking good. Neil's got to watch it. He has Apple TV now because he had to get it to watch Ghosted. Because he's like,
God, yeah. He's like, I got to use this or something else to make this worth it.
And I told him, I was like, dude, there's a bunch of good shit on there. Watch it and then cancel. Like you're fine. But regardless, all right. Well, that's the end of all that. So yeah, I got some more episodes coming out at some point. Been talking to a couple people about some stuff. So we'll have some more content as always whenever I can make the time. That'll be good. So I think we're outie.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
Bye.